In this video, I would like to talk about PMS and skin picking and going through your menstrual cycle and how that affects the disorder and the challenges that we face therein. Because when you go through PMS and eventually getting your period, you have like a spike in hormones, and at the very same time, the skin often breaks out and it feels irritated and agitated, and you feel irritated and agitated emotionally within yourself as well. And this was always towards the end of my healing process, the most challenging time. And it's like, you don't just get to work through it once and then it's done. It's like you have to work through this every single month, thus ensuring that you get it down pat, that it's almost like you're practicing a skill and you get challenged once a month for about a week or even two. I mean, mine have been 11 days long at some points. And you can actually feel, even one could say, grateful for this, because it is literally testing you and testing your application, testing your will until you are strong enough to get through even the most challenging moments. So with the period, what I've noticed is that you do become more reactive, more irritated, more agitated, anxious, frustrated, stressed. It's all elevated. But if you take the time to write down and note out what the issues are that are bothering you at that time of the month, one thing that's very interesting that you'll notice is that these issues did not appear all of a sudden in that moment. It's been things in your life that have been accumulating, but you just are not as aware of them throughout the rest of the month. And then your hormones spike and everything becomes compressed or exaggerated. So how I approached walking my process through PMS with my skin picking was that I would use those moments to identify what the issues were in my life that were really getting to me on deep levels. Now, these could be emotional issues, they could be pressures at work, confrontations, relationship stuff, personal things that involve only me. Whatever they were obviously a big deal to me. And I noticed that at first I could identify them and then ignore them for the rest of the month because they weren't triggering me as much. And then come period time, I would get triggered and I would pick my face because my skin was just like throbbing and calling out to me. And, I would use that as an excuse to, instead of move on these points, instead go and pick my skin. So I recently just went through my menstrual cycle, and it was very interesting because I could see now that I don't let it get to me what is actually going on. So my skin broke out, and it, for 1 or 2 days, felt like my face was literally throbbing. Like I could just feel it, and it was just like making my mouth water almost. And I was like, man, this would be the time where I would totally cave in and go and pick the shit out of my face in the bathroom. But instead, I was able to identify issues, because at the same time as my face felt physically throbbing and like so much pressure in my skin, I also was very agitated and irritated within myself and with those in my world. So I saw that what I needed to do was to identify the issues that were triggering me and to actually work on those instead of working on my skin. Because when we go and pick our skin, we feel like we're getting somewhere, we're doing something, because we are getting that release and that relief. So it feels like you're accomplishing things, you're moving things in your life. But the thing is that you're absolutely not. You're actually staying still and putting yourself back. And what's this going to do? It's going to create more of the same and make it more amplified and more compressed for the next time around, and even affect you for the whole month. So when you move on to things in your life in specific moments, like the pressure will come right before you actually have to do something, that thing that you are not wanting to do. And I mean, this can be a big thing, like you need to leave your partner and change your life, or it could be a small thing, like you need to start on a project, or just talk to somebody about some issues that are bothering you. And we procrastinate and push it back and justify and excuse not doing it. And meanwhile, the thing is like building and building and building, and we're getting these urges and picking our skin. When what I have discovered, if you actually move on the issues that are bothering you most, those issues that you don't want to do most, the urges go away. You get that sense of accomplishment. You feel proud of yourself. You develop confidence. You develop self-will, and you can make it through your picking sessions over time as you develop yourself, as you move things in your life and you see the movement and you feel how it feels to actually work with your internal self, your internal emotional reality, and process it. And I don't want to make it seem here like all you have to do is get shit done in your life and your OCD, your dermatillomania is going to go away. No, this is just one part of a solution that I'm bringing up in this video. And all my videos, I bring up one part, one thread, where when you apply them all together, you get your healing process. So this one thread in this video is to identify the things in your life that are bothering you. It's kind of like accept the things you cannot change the things you cannot accept, and be able to determine the difference between the two. That's what's going on here with PMS coming in, is that all the issues in your life are going to be completely amplified. And they're going to come at you at the same time when your skin is going to feel its worst, and you're going to create the perfect storm. And it is a compressed moment of life and living that is an opportunity for you to step up and push through and get to what you need to get to in your life. And when you have this information, when you have the information of, okay, what is triggering me and why am I having this emotional turmoil? What can I do to settle it? Then you can actually take steps to settle it. And you can actually take steps to settle it before it becomes a big problem. Instead of pushing it all down, procrastinating, pushing it back, and going and picking the skin and creating a whole other cycle that you know how long we can get stuck in those cycles. So this forward motion is something that has been a big, essential part of my healing process, moving my life forward. And my life has changed drastically through this application. And I ended up over the years creating a life that I'm satisfied and fulfilled with, instead of a life that is constantly triggering me into skin picking. So PMS and skin picking, a moment of opportunity, a moment of what you can call transcendence, where over time, as you apply yourself, as you develop this awareness of what it is that your body is communicating to you through these triggers, listen to your body, know yourself, and you can work through it just like I did. And I would like to be there to help you because I've been through it. I know how to identify these things. We can talk it out, pull out information from you, where right now it sits inside of you in your solar plexus and your stomach area as a pressure. That internal sensation, it has information in it, stored in it, and you can pull out and access that information so that you can create a plan for yourself. And I will tell you, even the act of just having a plan is like a small release on its own and relief on its own. Instead of just feeling this inexplicable pressure inside of you, this urge that seems to overtake you and you don't understand why. I mean, you're powerless when you don't have the understanding, and you won't even know which direction to take a step in because you don't even know what's going on. So because I have walked through this myself, I can help you identify what's going on that's being compressed during your PMS cycles, and help you to do like I did and be able to breathe through it, move even just a tiny bit during that time, and some strategies for what to do so that you don't fall into the skin picking during the perfect storm. So check out my website. It's in the description below. Let me be your mentor. Let me work with you. Let me work through it with you, because I've been there, done that, and come out the other side to be able to tell my story, and would like to help others to do the same. Okay, thank you. Bye.